In the second part of Chapter 5, we're going to look at NURBS surfaces, which stands for Non-Uniform Rational B-Splines. They are mathematical representations of 2D geometry that can accurately describe any shape from a simple 2D line, circle, arc, or curve to a more complex 3D freeform surface. Okay. They are used in illustrations, animations, and manufacturing of products. In general, editing NURBS and surfaces is highly intuitive and predictable. Control points are either connected directly to the surface or on construction curves. Depending on the type of user interface, editing can be done on the control points. So here are the two ways that we can make the splines. Okay, and the spline was originally developed to create the shape of a hull of a ship. Okay, they consisted of a small piece of metal, and then attached to it they had weights, so they could lay that down on a table and then they can pull the weights out and make a spline. Okay, and make the curve for like on a ship to have a smooth curve. Okay, this one right here is a CV spline. Stands for control vertices. You'll see that we make any adjustments on the control vertices of the arcs that we created. The second one is a fit spline, and that has those points along the spline itself. You can see the difference. So if we grab this one at the dot, we move it according to that position. Here we do it on the spline itself. Okay, you'll see a triangle here. If we click on the triangle, we can change this from CV to fit. Alright, so that probably made no sense at all. So we're going to take a look at drawing a spline and drawing a NURBS surface to it. Okay, so we're going to go into our 3D template as usual. I'm going to go to Southeast Isometric View, and I'm going to go to Construction. Okay, I'm going to go up here to Surface. Now the book tells you to draw a line, but they really don't mean that. Okay, it should be on page 524, number 2. It says select the line icon. That should be select the rectangle from the curves. Okay, so again, under Surface, under Curves, I hit the down arrow. I have rectangle here. Okay, so I'm going to start a rectangle. I'm going to start at 0, 0. Hit enter, and I'm going to do at 8, 8. Okay, so we're going to use that rectangle to create our splines. We're going to create one in this direction and one in this direction. All right, so what we want to do first is we want to go back to our home. I'm going to put this on Object. Okay, and I'm going to go to the right side view. Okay, so I'm going to go right here. Okay, I'm going to zoom down a little bit so I can see that line right there. Okay, I'm going to go up to Mesh, and I'm going to go to, I'm going to go to Surface, and I'm going to go to Spline, and I'm going to pick Spline Fit. So I'm going to hit this little down arrow, go to Spline Fit. I'm going to start at this endpoint right here, and I'm just going to create some points along the way. Okay, it doesn't matter where you put them or how many there are. Okay, well, I don't like that one. So I'm just going to take this and change it over to here. So I'm kind of at the end point there. Then I'll move this one to the end point. Okay, kind of like that. Okay. Now if I go back and look at my Southeast Isometric View, okay, I have a shape kind of like this. Alright, now I'm going to go to the front view and do the same thing. Okay, now it's kind of hard to see where that line ends, but if I just hover over it, you see that it ends out here. Okay, and this time I'm going to go to Surface, and I'm going to make this a CV for Control Vertices. So I'm going to click here, and again, I'm just going to make some points here, so that it looks kind of like that. Okay, make sure it goes to my endpoint. Alright, I'm going to go back and look at my southeast isometric view. So now you see we have a curve going this way and we have a curve going this way. I'm going to copy this one to this side and then this one this side. So we have a very complex shape. So I'm going to go to copy, pick this one. I'm going to pick this endpoint and copy it to that endpoint there. I'm going to take this one and copy it from that endpoint to there. Okay, so now again we have a very, very complex shape there. Okay, which would be very, very difficult for us to make. Okay, if I click on any of these, if I click on this one again, you'll see that. Okay, I click on it, and here on my arrow, I can either do fit or control vertices. Okay, if I want to pick fit, if I want to move any of these, I just pick the vertices right there. Okay, and I can change this any way that I want, and you'll see that it moves it along that one. I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to click on this one here. This one you'll see, instead of on the surface, I have these vertices that I can change. I change this one. Okay, this one if I want. Whoops, I missed it. This one. Okay, any way I want. Now, again, I can go here and look at the vertices on the fit along the curve itself. Okay, so we would make that once we are happy with it. That's what we would use. Okay, now I'm going to make this into a surface. Okay, this very complex shape. So I'm going to go up to surface, and this time I'm going to pick network. Okay, and it says select the curves in the first direction. Okay, that will be this one and this one. I'll hit enter. I'll pick the curves on this one and this one, and then I hit enter. Okay, so now if you're in realistic, you see that I have a very, very complex shape there. Okay, now I can also go, if I go to 2D wireframe, I can see the wireframe there, and if I want, okay, I can make any changes. I'll go back to realistic, and again I can click anywhere. Oops, let's cancel that. Okay, and if I move anything, okay, it will move the entire object. Okay. Okay, so I can move this one around, move it up and down. You see that it's associative, so it moves that shape around. Okay, now I might want to get rid of that one. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this into a NURBS surface. So you'll see convert to NURBS. I'll click on that object. I will hit enter. Okay, now if I go here, and it might look a little better on 2D wireframe, and I go to show control vertices right here. Okay, click on that and hit enter. Okay, now you'll see all the vertices that I have there, and that I can edit any of those very easily just by clicking on it, okay, and dragging it where I want to go. Okay, so we're able to go and we're able to change any of the surfaces that we want in any direction. Again, if I go back and look at my realistic, okay, I'll hide the CV. Okay, I also want to go here and I want to turn off my construction layer. Okay, so there we have our object. Now again, I have this one which I'm just going to delete. Alright, so that is our NURBS.